Good evening, Council. My name is Kelly McCreary. I'm here, I'm chairman of the Board of County Commissioners. The reason I'm here is because I've been seeing some things going on for the last couple of months that bother me, and they bother me a lot. And what they are secret meetings. The secret meetings are between two county commissioners. It's Jim Ford and Scott Clem, the mayor of this city, Shay Lundvall, and Mike Cole, from what I know. I'm never invited to these meetings. Neither is our executive director, Sandra Beeman, invited to any of these meetings. I can't even tell you how many meetings have actually went on, but I know that they've met with the Department of Energy. They've met with BWXT, and I think the governor's office. I don't know that for sure. But we're never told what goes on in these meetings. And when they do tell us, it's very little. And half the time they say, oh, but this is confidential, you can't tell anybody. And these things have been going on to the point where now I refuse to be quiet. I think it's an in-house problem. I blame these commissioners far more than I do the mayor or Mike Cole. But I know that they've invited them two, and them two only, down here to meetings at City Hall. And I thought, well, if they can do that, then I can invite myself to City Hall so that you guys can hear what's going on in case you don't know. Maybe you do know, I don't know. But it really bothers me that nobody else, there's 5 commissioners and 3 of us aren't told anything of what's going on. It's only 2. And when BWXT invites somebody, they only ask for 2, the same 2 all the time. And I tell you, if you don't have transparency, you don't have truth. And when I became chairman and we had our meeting where we were telling each other, we all met together, what our plan was for the year of 2025, I did tell you that the commissioners were going to be transparent. And I did tell you that I thought at that time that the city and the county were getting along better than they ever had ever since I'd been a commissioner. And now I have changed my mind. With the things going on, I think they've eroded trust and integrity to the point to where now I'm angry enough to come here to your meeting and tell you what I think. And I do appreciate the time and the opportunity for you to at least voice my concerns. Thank you much.
Thank you, Chairman McCreary. Anybody else?
Good evening, City Council.
Good evening.
I wasn't going to speak tonight, but I did hear some things that Councilman Smith was sharing about.
Would you mind stating your name, please?
I'm Bob Jordan, County Commissioner.
Good to have you, Bob.
Thank you. Good to see you. So you were talking about the ball fields and why can't we contribute? I think that it's important we understand what the county's role is and what goes on in our community, in our county. This last year, we had directed that we would take care of our projects and repairs first before we did contributing money, anything else. And we've been doing that. We got 4 years of repairs, so around $40 million. The ball fields you're concerned about, we actually put in $1.6 million into repairing our ball fields up north in Centennial. It's a lot of money. Our rec center gets over $6 million a year, and they're also on a project list to get their work done. So we do contribute to the quality of life projects in Gillette and sports. So if anybody ever concerned about us doing that, if you want to get a project or share a project, you have to come to our budget meeting and just put it on a project list with our public works. We just don't hand cash out. And we've been working on this a very long time. We have a very robust community involvement in sports in Campbell County. I think that's well recognized. As for some of the meeting stuff been going on, there was some comment made that our county commissioners work on deals with businesses all the time behind the scenes. We don't do this. And we all agreed when we start this thing a year ago, when I came on the board, that we would always have at least 2 commissioners as selected by our chairman to go out, or a commissioner and our director, Sandra Beeman. And we would report back and brief our board and brief our commissioners or other commissioners. And we've been doing this for the most part. At least 3 of us have been. There's been a lot of things going on in our community about the nuclear development. I'm most surprised by the fact that we have people directly in contact with these entities physically and getting their communication. What we did was we got some insight into what was going on and we began to read. And I think most of you pretty much know that we're fairly good readers. We began to read everything we can about the Department of Energy, the DOD, the NRC, and the Government Accounting Office. We put together enough data to understand what's going on in our community just from the few things we did have. I did attend the INL's meeting in Idaho. It's hard for me to attend a meeting that I realized was a presentation. It was a invite to attempt to push an agenda that the DOE has been working on for at least 10 or 12 years. An entire playbook was set up, and we were introduced to that playbook unintentionally, knowing to us. It's interesting to watch exactly how that introduction went and the communication. You were there, as well as Councilman Gross and McClellan. So we've been gathering information and learning and reading about all this. We didn't just sit down and just take what was handed to us. I have been with the BWXT in a presentation. One was a PowerPoint. Very little information came out of that. We were with Rainey gave us this one in the city halls. You know, being a technical person, short PowerPoints don't do well for me. So we did our research, did our background, and not just on this, but the Department of Energy's policies going back that far. And we have a clear understanding exactly what's going on, how it's going on, how our state's been involved, how it's been pushed forward, this agenda, without the communication coming directly to our county commissioners. And we talked to former county commissioners, asked them the same thing. They did not know nothing about this. This has been going on at least 6 or 7 years for some of the parties in our community. We know that now. We know how, when, and where. I certainly hope next time we decide to do this, we don't do it this way. Hope we have to keep people more informed, and maybe we can get more things done. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Senator Troy McEwen, thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Troy.
I want to clarify something that happened last time I spoke, and hopefully this will be the last time I come to you. The first thing, Councilman Clary and Smith were not involved in any of this. They came on later, so I didn't want to lump them into it. As far as the NDA, there's not dozens of exemptions. There's 6, and I talked to 2 lawyers. None of them include seeking out new business with another company. It's all related to trade secrets, financial stuff, geophysical. Anyway, none of it has to do with seeking out new business. But that's neither here nor there. This turned into an argument over whether the city, in 2 newspapers, could enter into an NDA. That wasn't my point. My point was, why was the NDA entered into? Why? There's got to be a reason. And I really wanted to hear what that reason was, other than being transparent as an opaque rock and working out deals. So that being said, have we informed the people that nuclear energy is 4 to 5 times the cost of our own coal-fired power plants? We call this economic development. We're already taxing the snot out of everybody for services like coverings on a ball field. It just doesn't make sense. Now we're going to raise their utility rates. At the county level, we passed some tax relief, but the values of the houses still keep going up astronomically, to the point mine's worth more than I could sell it for now. But that's okay. There's a 4% cap and a 25% relief. What about the insurance costs as we do this? Are we looking at that? Insurance is off the hook. So my question is, why is this such a good deal? And I think, well, I know for a fact that our governors entered into an MOU to make Wyoming a nuclear storage place. And I can't believe that the players in this aren't aware of that. The other thing is, I got attacked on Facebook by Councilman West. Called me a liar and said all kinds of vile things. Yet, I had the NDA agreement with the mayor's signature in my possession. So we want to talk decorum and what we're trying to do? I don't get it. So I'm going to close with this. The only thing I wanted out of the council, and the only thing I think the people deserve, is to know what you're doing, why you're doing it. We don't need to know the secrets of the dual containers. I've seen all that. But we are trying to bring nuclear waste here. Whether it's the city council, whether it's our county commissioners. Once again, I know for a fact our governor's already worked out an MOU to do it. And I just can't believe that the major players in this aren't aware of it. I just can't. And as I dig deeper, I find things that's said about the Constitution and some other things. Former Representative Fortner was absolutely correct. We all, to include me, took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It's our job to fight back and push back against the courts. We have a lawsuit now where the court has determined every child K through 12 needs a laptop. And they claim that's constitutional. As I read through the Wyoming Constitution, I don't even see the word laptop. In fact, in one part, I see the section that says we owe every child in Wyoming 3 years of education between the ages of 6 and 18. So it's our job to protect this or just roll over. And I'll leave you with one last thought. Let everybody know what you're doing. Because I'll tell you, if it was more transparent, you probably wouldn't have the problems you're having in my district anyway. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Senator.
Good evening, Council. My name is Rolf Ahrens. I'm in Ward 2. I want to speak to the issue that Senator McCune just commented on, lack of transparency. I have an article here from March 31st, 2022. It's a summary of what the attorneys found in their analysis after Mayor Louise Carter King resigned, and there was some issues and follow-up from that. It's a very lengthy and detailed document. I'm going to read just one sentence from that to start off. Meetings of the governing body, the council, should be at locations that are easily accessible by members of the public. Locations that are easily accessible by the members of the public. I'm going to jump forward in time. June 23rd, 2023. Well, this prior article was in County 17, I apologize. This one also is from County 17. Mayor Shea Lundvall, who's not here tonight, of course, he called a special meeting on June 23rd, which was a Friday. The special meeting, I'm going to read from here. The meeting will take place on Monday, June 26th at 3 p.m. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. I did look through typical meeting notice times, and 4 to 5 days is typical. Some were 3 days, and that happens. The meeting will take place at 3 p.m. on a Monday afternoon at L&H Garage, second floor. And people work. People may be home with childcare. People may be out on vacation. So I'm not sure a meeting at 3 o'clock on a Monday in a garage on the second floor, assuming there's an elevator or stairs to get people up there, qualifies for easily accessible. Also in this June 23rd, a live recording will be made available of this meeting. I've searched the city website. I cannot find it. So perhaps a staff member can direct me to how to find it. I'd like to see this meeting if that's possible, please. I'm jumping forward to 2024. Resolution 2862, you all know that very well, was passed in February of 2024. The prior council and the mayor, who's not here, 4 of you were present and voted for that. Clary and Smith were not present for this vote. The rest of you supported this unanimously. This was the BWXT and City of Gillette Cooperative Agreement. Since February of 2024, there's been one presentation in the council meeting. That was in December of 2024 by Mike Wandler. He presented here at council. Nothing else. I found 21 newspaper articles, Gillette News Record, Cowboy State Daily, so on and so forth. I also have been going through the spending that's been spent on nuclear. So far, I found $21,000 that has been spent on travel, airfare, and those kind of things. That's a lot of money. How much are we being told? Recently, we're getting trickles of information, and thank you for that. But to recap, 18 months, $21,000 spent, one presentation, 21 media articles, and the mayor has commented on Facebook, but I don't think that's what we're looking for. I think we need face-to-face, here's where I stand, and I think you guys also need to do that. It's frustrating because to me, it's opaque. We don't know what's going on. We've heard other comments. I'm not going to repeat all that, but we're just, oh, surprise, nuclear. Transparency would have been very helpful to get the message out, and I hope you guys continue with your information sessions that I've heard about. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Ahrens. Is there anybody else that would like to step up for public comment? All right, seeing none, we will move to L, Administrator's Report.